This video is brought to you by my absolutely incredible patrons. Seriously, I would not be able to bring you all this content without them. Thank you all so much. If you want to join them, head to the link on screen or click the link in the description. If we reach my current goal, I'll be able to come to a USA convention a lot sooner and finally meet a lot of you. But for now, enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to my brand new recording studio! Yay, it's finished, kind of. I can't give you a tour just yet because it's still extremely messy, but it is currently functional and I'm dying to use it, so I am now. Welcome to my new recording room, which I am going to call the Kangaroo Den. Or maybe like the Pucara Den, or the Soda Den, the Sodaroo Den, the name is still a working title, but it is some form of den. And new awesome fluffy couch that is actually blue, so I don't have to put a sheet on it anymore. Anyway, let's jump right into this week's bottle episode, creating your own original species. Creating a species is super duper awesome fun. Like, just to do it is a heck of a lot of fun. But it can be hard to sort of know where to take your original species and kind of like work out what you want to do with it, and even if you want to try and get it to appeal to other people. I'm going to talk about all those kinds of factors so you can decide on what kind of path you want to take. So, what even counts as an original species? Well, it's pretty much just any kind of creature that isn't a basic hybrid. I mean, you can still have a hybrid as a base, but you need to add your own kind of unique spin on it. You can't just like combine a cat and a sloth and they'll be like, cool, no one else is allowed to make cat sloths, this is mine, I have claimed this idea, no more cat sloths. You can still stop people from just taking the exact same way you did it and then just adding their colors to it. I mean, it depends, it's kind of a more case-by-case kind of scenario. But to turn it into your own original species, you need to add some of your own twists to it. And even then, you still can't really stop people from making hybrids, so if you're looking to be able to control your species 100% and, you know, have full, complete, quality control on every single one that is made, turn away right now. You are setting yourself up for a road that is nothing but mountains and rocks and just miles and miles of not fun. No matter how many rules and regulations and how amazing and original your species is, there are always going to be rule breakers and accidents, and it is absolutely impossible to be able to control them all. We can do a good job of it, which I'll also go into, but you're not going to be able to control them all. So if control is what you're after, nah, don't do it. It's too hard, too much effort. So let's talk about angel dragons. Originally Dutch angel dragons, they all had to be officially run by and approved by Niho herself before you could, you know, actually call them a Dutch angel dragon, which worked pretty well to begin with. But as angel dragons got more and more popular and more people wanted to make them, you got more of those rule breakers and people who just didn't care and would just do whatever. So it got to the point where it was just too impossible to be able to get approval for all of them. So they officially decreed that there are two different kinds of angel dragons. So you've got Dutch angel dragons and just regular angel dragons. So regular angel dragons are the lax ones. Like they really don't have any rules, I don't think, apart from no not safe for work artwork. I think that's their only main rule. I could be wrong on that, I don't follow angel dragons too closely. But the Dutch angel dragons do have the guidelines and regulations, and you need to, you know, be part of their species rules. So you can still have an angel dragon looking thing and do whatever you want, but you just can't call yourself a Dutch angel dragon. You still get an angel dragon, but if you want the Dutch one, then you gotta follow their rules. Another example is Primagens. Primagens were never ever intended to be as popular as they are. It was just a persona for the creator and for their partner, and I think that's the only ones they were. Like, they might have made some for some other close friends, but yeah, they weren't intended for anyone not directly related to the creator. But then they got the fursuits, and those fursuits are amazing, and they went viral, and then they just exploded in popularity. Everyone's like, oh my god, what is this cool species? I need one, please tell me how I need to get one. And since the species was really personal to the creator, they didn't want people just like going out and copying them and making their own. So they're like, alright, it's a closed species. So a closed species is when you have your own original species, but nobody else is allowed to just make their own. To get one, they have to get it through the creator or the creator's approved people by either, you know, getting permission to make one themselves or buying one from those people. You know, people do this because they really love their species and they don't want their species to just be the next passing fad. You know, this month's hot new species to be. Everyone jump on the new species train. Woo! No, they didn't want that. They didn't want them to become the next angel dragons. But as I said before, there are a lot of rule breakers and people just made their own or made their own kind of species that looked pretty much exactly the same as Primagens, but what they call them robot Sergals or something. Like, you could tell very easily it was a rip-off of Primagens. But there was still a lot of controversy about it because it's like, no, it's still original enough and no, you can't claim this because there was a lot of drama, and I'm glad I was not the creator. That was not a very fun kind of mess. So to fix it, they had the brilliant idea to come up with another species called Protogens. Protogens are like a more organic version of Primagens, so not quite as robotic as they are, but still had enough similar features that people were happy with. And these Protogens were also an open species, so anyone could make one. They still had some guidelines and things, but they were still a lot more lax. And everyone who had always been dying to get a Primagen could finally have their Primagen itch fixed by a Protogen. So everyone went mental designing their brand new Protogens, and everyone who was still keen on a Primagen would make a Protogen for the meantime, and then eagerly wait until they're able to buy a Primagen. Alright, now this video is not going to be some magical 100% guaranteed way to make the best species ever that everyone's going to be loving, and you could sell them for $100 a pop, and it's going to be great. No, there's no real step-by-step guide on how to do that, because as you've probably noticed, a lot of people with really popular species didn't get that way on purpose. Like, it's usually just people, you know, creating their own cool thing for their persona and just using that to represent themselves and be really passionate about their character, and then that high level of passion inspires other people. So please don't just make a custom species because you're trying to be popular or you're trying to find something that you can, you know, make a lot of profit off, because you are most likely going to be setting yourself up for a lot of disappointment. So let me just start with the elephant in the room and talk about the most obvious thing that will make a species kind of take off is a fursuit. There is no denying that that will raise a lot of awareness for your species, but it does go deeper than just fursuit bias. The reason this works is because people are really able to fully see your species like there in the flesh in its full 100% awesomeness. They don't have to find any artwork or read any lore, they can just see it right there and be like, oh my goodness, that's cool. And this is 10 times more effective if you've got a really good character to go along with it. So again, using Telephone, while her fursuit is absolutely adorable, just the way she acts in it, you know, she's got the good squeaker and just her acting in it her fursuit combined with her fursuit performance went absolutely viral in the furry community. And everyone went to look into it more and make their own, and then it just became the ridiculously popular species it is now. While the fursuit was definitely not the sole reason why angel dragons are popular, I feel like it was the main thing that really kicks them off. But next, you've got lore. This is the thing that you want to put the most time and effort into if you want to have a really nice, fully super fleshed out and wholesome species. You know, their anatomy, their history, their habitats, their abilities. You want enough information out there to be able to create a 10-season documentary on them. So take Manakits for example. Well, yeah, there are Manakit fursuits. I don't think that's the main thing as to why they are popular. I think it's because their creator Dubmutt has just put in so much work and so much passion into fully fleshing out these species that they feel a lot more than just a simple hybrid. They feel alive, and when you can do that, that inspires people. And of course, media plays a huge role in your species' popularity. And I'm not talking just artwork either. There's also role plays, avatars, comics, video game mods, just anything that involves your species as a feature. Even just having them as your profile picture on a day-to-day basis. Or you've got things like Second Life, which if you haven't heard of it, is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It is a virtual world where you have a second life and you can be pretty much anything you want. So of course furries have a flock to that because it's a platform where they can be their personas and make their own personas. And lots of people have used this as a platform to create new species because the avatar creating stuff, well, extremely difficult. I still don't get it, but I've seen a lot of people create some pretty mental stuff in it so they can create their own creatures and their own species. And then you can share that cool new avatar species with other people, and then everyone loves them because they get to be it, and everyone's like, I want to take this outside of the Second Life, so then it just infects the rest of the furry fandom. This was actually the case for Cruxes. I believe correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that Cruxes started off as a Second Life avatar, and I think this was also the case for Kelishis. I love them both. They are such really cool, crazy design species. I love them. Then you've got interesting cases such as Avali. I love Avali so much, and I've been meaning to create my own character of one. But Avali actually started as a custom creature in the game Spore. Highly recommend checking it out if you haven't played it yet. You can make your own monsters and stuff in it. So yeah, it started out as a Spore creature, and then the creator also took it into a custom race for Starbound, which is another amazing game that I highly recommend picking up. So yeah, it's just putting your species into other platforms and sometimes even letting other people use them. Or even Sergals. Sergals were actually created for a manga series, so there are just so many different ways to get your species out there other than just, you know, standard artwork. You know, go out there and get creative. And that is all you really need to know about making your own species. Like I said before, I can't really make a step-by-step guide because there are just so many different ways to go about establishing your species that it is really up to you. As for like the literal design of your species, you don't even have to be an artist to do that. You can also just, you know, you can ask an artist friend to help you out, or you can commission an artist and then they might be able to work off a description. Or like you can even sketch. Some artists can work off sketches from the most artistically inept people in the world. So there are multiple different ways to create your species. Again, you've also got, you know, Second Life and Spore, all those creature creating platforms. The design of the species is the easy part. Where you go from there is just wherever you feel your species taking you. Alright, and that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Leave me some comments. What's your favorite custom species? Why do you like it so much? Or if you own your own custom species, what have you done with it? Like, is it just for you? Have other people taken it on? How's it going? I would love to hear about it. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!